Hello, welcome to Jessie at Home in the Stitchopedia. And in this Stitchopedia video, I'm going to show you how to do the Jacob's Ladder stitch or technique. Here's an example of one piece I've made using the Jacob's Ladder technique. This is actually the Tamara Kismet square. And the Jacob's Ladder technique has been used in all of these places where you see these kind of braid looks happening. All right. And this is turned on its side. This is done the traditional way. This is used as a corner. This is, like I said, on its side. So there are lots of uses for this stitch. I'm just going to show you the general technique. And if you look at the text that comes along with this video here, you will see a pattern for this little practice piece. So I've gotten the practice piece started, and I've done it in a couple different colors. I've used 3 colors because it's if you use 3 colors, then you don't have to clip your yarn at the end of every row because the way that everything falls, you can go do 3 colors and just carry things up the side. And I wanted to do more than 1 color because I wanted to show off the look of the Jacob's Ladder stitch when the colors are different. You can see my first 2 ladders here are actually the same color. So if you were making a piece and you really wanted every single ladder to change colors, then you would make your starting chain, and you would then switch the colors before starting the row of the stitches on top of the starting chain. That way your these first 2 ladder rungs, I guess, would not be the same color. So to get to this point, what I did was I began with a chain of 43, and then I double crocheted into the 4th chain from the hook. Okay, which then those last 3 chains that I did would count as the first. Here, sorry. These are the last 3 chains. They count as the first double crochet. I double crocheted into the 4th chain from the hook, and then the next 3. Then I chained 7 and skipped 7. I double crocheted into 5 stitches, chain 7, skip 7, double crochet 5, chain 7, skip 7, double crochet 5. And then every following row, I chained 3 to count as the first double crocheted in the next 4, double crochet, chain 7, double crochet in the next 5, double crochet, chain 7, double crochet in each of the next 5, double crochet, chain 7, double crochet in each of the next 5, double crochet, and so on. So you can see I have columns of 5 double crochet, and in the middle I have these little ladders that have 7 chains going across. These columns of double crochet can be whatever width you want. If you're using double crochet, your ladder rungs need to be 7 chains. You can use a different size stitch as opposed to the double crochet. The chains will then need to be adjusted. Essentially what you want is the chains need to be twice the height of the double crochet, twice the height of the stitch, sorry, plus 1. So when you double crochet, you do a chain 3 for your turning chain, right? So a double crochet is 3 chains tall. So 3 plus 3 is 6. Then 1 more is 7. A single crochet is the same as a chain 1. So 1 plus 1 is 2, plus 1 more is 3. You would do a chain 3 if you were doing this in single crochet. Half double crochet, you use a chain 2, right? For your turning chain on a half double crochet is a chain 2. So you do 2 plus 2, which is 4, and then 1 more makes 5. Treble crochet, your starting chain is 4. So you do 4 plus 4, which is 8, and then 1 more makes 9, and you'd have your ladder rungs for a treble crochet would be 9. That's how you determine how long the little ladder rungs need to be in order to properly work your Jacob's Ladder stitch. So now let me show you the part that sometimes confuses people, how to actually turn this ladder into this. Okay, and it's actually pretty easy. The other thing that really confuses people is how to finish it off. So first I'm going to show you the ladder, and then we'll show you how to finish it off so it doesn't just come undone. The bottom rung of your ladder you want to twist. You can decide which direction you want to twist. I just say make a decision, and for your entire project, make sure you twist everything the same direction. Otherwise, it'll look different if you're twisting some of them this way and some of them that, you know. So choose a direction and stick with it. I go with kind of what feels natural to me, which is twisting this way. So twist that first ladder. Grab a hold of the first little ladder and twist it, the first rung. And now you've made a loop. Now you're going to reach through that loop and grab the next piece of ladder and pull it through. This time you are not twisting. The only twist is in the very first ladder rung. Now we're going to reach through that loop again and grab the next ladder rung, or just push the next ladder rung through, whatever works for you. Okay, next ladder rung goes through that new loop. New loop. Next ladder rung through. New loop. Next ladder rung through. New loop. And next ladder rung goes through. New loop. Next ladder rung through the loop. You have a new loop. Here's the next ladder rung through the loop. And you keep doing that till you get all the way to the top. Okay. So there you see, we've condensed these rungs and turned them into the actual little loops, and you can see how the colors, they bounce up. So my pink, here's my pink double crochet, here's my pink loop, my blue double crochet, my blue loop. I love that. That's why I really like to switch the colors in the Jacob's Ladder stitch, because I love the way that it looks. Some people use a solid color, some people use a solid color and just change every once in a while, like, you know, stripes, but not every single row of stripes. Do what makes you happy. I just really wanted to show off that little technique. So now I'm going to do the same with these other two ladder rungs here, turn them into the loops. And then I will show you how to finish things off, because right now I could give this a good tug and this would all come undone. We don't want that to happen, so I'm going to show you how I like to finish off my Jacob's Ladder stitch. This stitch happens to be one of those things that my great-grandmother taught me, and I didn't remember, because she taught me when I was 9. I didn't really remember how she taught me to seal down the end, so this is just the solution I came up with. I'm sure it's a very common solution, but other people may have other solutions, so don't, you know, go quoting me and saying, this is the exact right way to pin down your Jacob's Ladder stitch. It's just the way that I do it. I'm sure a lot of other people do it this way, but there may very well be a different way that other people do it as well. So, you know, whatever floats your boat, whatever works for you, I'm going to show you what works for me. All right? So I'll be back in a minute to show you that after I turn these two sections into loops as well. So you can see I have looped all of my ladders, and my piece is now much thinner. It's more of a square. It used to be a really long rectangle. And now I need to do something to pin down all of these loops. By the way, if you're looking to recreate this piece, the yarn is Red Heart with Love, and the hook that I am using is a USJ or 10 or a 6mm crochet hook, okay? So that's what I used for my sample, and let me show you now what I do is I'm going to do my double crochets as I have in the other rows. So a chain 3 to count as my first double crochet, and then double crochet in each of the rest of them. So giving us a total of 5 stitches here, the chain 3 plus 4 double crochets. Okay, and now it's really super simple. I've got those, and now all I'm going to do is I'm just going to slip stitch into the top of this little loop that's dangling here. Okay, and now I'm going to do the 5 double crochet into the previous 5 double crochet, well, into the 5 double crochet from the previous row. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and now again I'm going to slip stitch into the top loop and double crochet into each of these 5 double crochet from the previous row. 1, oopsie, 2, I do that a lot when I'm looking at the video instead of my hands. 3, 4, and 5, and then slip stitch into this top loop, and then there were 5 more double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, so now our little sample square here is done, and you can see all those loops have been tacked down with the very top row that we made. They're all being held in place. The pink is being held in place by the blue here. And we have an actual little square with that won't come apart when I pull on it. Before I did that, if I had given it a tug like this, all of those little loops would have come undone again. Now, some people will tell you that the latter part is 2 stitches wide. Some people will tell you that the latter part is no stitches wide. I like to make it 1 stitch wide, hence the 1 slip stitch in the top. And then if I were to work the next round, we had 5, 10, 15, 20 double crochets, and then 1, 2, 3 loops. The next row, the next row would have 23 stitches in it. If you want to really pull things together, you can always do a decrease when you get to here and make the next row 20 stitches again, because you can see that it really does, once you've pulled those loops up, it really does pull everything together pretty closely. Some people will tell you again that it's really completely touching, so it's got a 0 stitch width. I like to kind of think of it as a 1 stitch width. It seems to work for me in the patterns that I've done using it. Giving it a 1 stitch width has worked out well for me, so that's what I do. Again, it's kind of a do what works for you when you're using it kind of thing, and especially if you're just doing a border, you know, it's not really going to make a huge difference if you've made a huge thing like this and you're just talking about the very last row or 2. But that is your general technique on how to twist and loop together your Jacob's ladder. I hope that helped kind of demystify some of the how in the world do you do this really nifty Jacob's ladder stitch for you. And there is, like I said, there's written instructions, several photos of the little pull through process, and a chart on how to make the initial piece before all the loops are pulled through, all on the blog post attached to this video. And I hope you find it all very helpful. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.